We're live.
Hello, everybody. This is John Wynn and Bill Atay with a new addition to our regular podcast. We call these our mini cast or whatever. We don't really have a name for it at this point, but just know that we're trying to be a little bit more regular in our updates. So we are going to be putting out like little snippets to be more up to date with current events or things that we hold dear. And we'll just talk about one or two subjects, usually what's going on presently in the world. And it'll be a lot shorter for format. We'll be doing between like 15 to 20 minutes. Might be a little bit more, a little bit less. But yeah, we're going to try to do this at least once a week. Might be two. We'll see how it goes. And we will take it from there. So without further ado, Mr. Bill ETE. Before you go, I'll just say that one of the topics I have on my mind right now is the blockage of the Democratic Party in the U.S. of the stimulus package due to obviously COVID or coronavirus. And what they wanted to do was block the aid, the stimulus bill, and add like a lot of very far left ideology in it. So they blocked it instead of like hurrying this package up to give it to people that really need it in this devastating economical climate. They they decided to add things that any company that receives it. Anyways, I'll get into it later. Let's hear your side of some of the topics you want to discuss too on your end.
Yeah, new format, minicast style. I've been watching some of the developments more in Canada, and just finding some disturbing news articles. Being put out by the Liberal Trudeau government, namely the new Quarantine Act, which it's not just a matter of voluntary self-isolation anymore. They went to Parliament and passed sweeping powers to basically force people to be quarantined in their home, which is, in my opinion, a breach of people's personal and civil liberties, bordering on, I don't want to say 1984, but once you start going in that direction, you give an inch, you take a mile. I mean, at least where I'm from, in my small communities, like people already have stores and caches of weapons, because that's just what we do up here. We hunt and fish, and we have a subsistence living. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes over with the general public, especially now that the weather is going to start getting nicer here in the coming days, months, and weeks. As far as I'm concerned, if you're healthy and don't have symptoms, I mean, as long as you're not willingly going around and spreading disease, I really think you should be just on your merry way. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, well, you kind of, because you kind of I just kind of learned about it. I haven't been following much about this, besides like the basic bullet points of what's going on. My girlfriend, anyways, she keeps me up to date. But now, is this quarantine for everybody, like what they're proposing?
No,
Or
it's specifically for all travelers returning to Canada who are now legally required to go into self-isolation for 14 days.
yeah, my
So
mom actually.
it's not just a recommendation. It is, you're coming back from anywhere. You must go into
14 days. Yeah, my
14
mom.
days imposed quarantine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand the impetus behind it, but I think it's very draconian in its application. personally.
Yeah, it's kind of like a question: do the ends justify the means, type of thing, right?
Because realistically, this virus, yes, it's a little more virulent than the average seasonal flu and a little more contagious.
Yeah.
But in terms of morality rates, it's no Ebola virus or anything like that. It's just
Hmm.
it's a little more stronger than the regular seasonal flu.
Yeah.
And I feel like this particular issue is, I'm all for quarantining people who are sick or staying away from hospitals or nursing homes and places
Definitely. Well,
that have that.
definitely keep away from other people, I would
Yeah,
say. All right.
I mean, yes, your regular businesses, your regular daily routines, et cetera, are going to be disrupted, and they're going to be disrupted for God knows how long, from probably 3 months at least, probably
Hmm.
longer, before things kind of settle down and go back to some sort of
Well, at least,
normative state. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You
minimum.
know?
Most people are thinking this is the apex is at least, and this is actually coming from my girlfriend who's a nurse, and they've been having meetings about this and all that. We're actually under quarantine. Just quick side note: my girlfriend works at different sites in Alberta, and there's been some actual cases there, and she does have like symptoms of the flu. We don't know what it is. We've caught, and I got like really tiny symptoms and all that, but um, no one's taking any chances. But like for us to be told that we can't even go out for a walk without even like talking to anyone, or like we're not out. Going in a mall and restaurants or anything like that. Like we go out, there's like a small lake around our place, and we will go and walk the dog, and we're not in contact with anyone. We're in the streets. We're not interacting with anyone or anything where people would touch what we touched or whatever. We're not touching anything. We're just fucking walking, right? Um, I mean, if there's a law that tells me I can't even do that, yeah, that's kind of scary. But if there's a law, like say you're on a list, you're a danger, and then you go out in bars and party and high five everyone. Well, yeah, maybe you deserve to be treated like a shithead at that point. Because I'm not afraid personally of getting this. I am afraid, however, of transmitting to people that are vulnerable. Be it immunodeficient people or old people. Like when I started thinking about my mom, she actually just got back. She's in 14 days self quarantine right now. And she said, "Yeah, I can't go for a walk." And my mom's very obedient when it comes to stuff like that. So she got back from Texas. Her and her husband and all that came up, and I was really worried because they're old, and if they catch something like that, my mom battled cancer a few years back, and her immune system has never been the same. Yeah, I'd be really pissed off if there's some idiot out there just like fucking contaminating everyone and everything pointlessly. But at the same time, if someone is just going out for a walk, not talking to someone, not grouping with anyone, and just walking their dog or going for a jog or something like that, I mean, yeah. Uh, Sometimes, like in anything, too much. There's a proverb in French, like too much is like not enough. Is the equivalent of not enough a lot of times. Um, yeah, it's a complicated situation, right? Politician has like so much pressure. um, I'm not a big fan of politicians, but I can only imagine the pressure all these politicians worldwide these leaders are having right now by the population. I mean,
Well, what do you think of the like in terms of stimulus? Do you think pushing the stimulus package is going to make a difference for people?
well, well, at least temporarily, right? It could be the equivalent of having something deadly, just getting in a car wreck and your spine is severed and like you're in extreme pain, and having a couple shots of morphine is going to alleviate some of that. But the economy, like say everything returned to normal in a couple weeks to a month. Let's just say, like in a very ideal situation, everything reverts back to normal, right? The normal flow of traffic and all that. No more restrictions. People are like, okay, we're all going to get it, and might as well just continue living at this point if there's nothing we can do, no matter what we do, which I talked about on the last podcast. But what just in the last like month, like the economical damage is pretty damn crazy, man. And and this is affecting worldwide. So like what this is, China's been shut down for what, 2.5 months, 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, we're going on a month, at least like 2 weeks solid now that everyone is like just at home. Businesses are shut down. Like we just like traveled in Edmonton today, and in our vehicle, and it was like a ghost town. It was like there was less traffic than on Sunday mornings here, or maybe the equivalent. Where usually, like when we were out, we had to pick something up. It was the equivalent. Like this is it was rush hour time. It would have been packed, right? So I mean that's insane. That like even if everything was magically okay, do go back to business and all that. I mean, there's so many businesses that are behind everything now. I mean, a lot of businesses are just kind of like a lot of people are paycheck to paycheck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, they're extending the tax deadlines like 3 months
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, exactly. Imagine like governments not caring about their taxes. That means the shit is real, man.
Well, in Canada, the stimulus package is going to be close to $82 billion, and in the United States, it's close to it's what is it?
Two
What is this?
trillion.
$2 trillion.
2 trillion, yeah.
Yes.
And
So
if we go, and the topic I wanted to talk about, and which is insane. Now this is like some never seen before shit. The progressive, so like the far left and Trump are in agreement about the stimulus package. The Democrats, a few days ago, blocked the stimulus package that Trump was trying to get, to insert their own political views into it. For instance, man, I wish I would have noted them down. I know that one of them, like stimulus for companies and all that, was if companies receive money from the government, they are required to meet a certain quota of. There has to be a certain amount of women being hired, a certain amount of minorities being hired. They have to meet a certain quota, um, for the next 5 years if they're going to take that money. If not, they suffer like a host of penalties and shit like that. Other stuff like they're pushing a lot of elements of the Green New Deal. So they're dangling the carrot, but they're like, but you need to do this and this and this. So that the Democrats are trying to push that in Congress into this bill, and this is like, are you fucking kidding me? This is not time to fucking push your political agenda when the fucking world is falling apart. You know, this is I mean this is like if they were pushing, if like it's a zombie apocalypse and they're like, okay, we need to recruit. We need a stimulus package to recruit fucking soldiers to fucking kill these motherfuckers. And they're like, well, wait. We will only approve the stimulus package if we have equal amount of women fighting in this war. And
The,
they
zo-
had,
the zombie war.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? People are being eaten alive here, and
Mhm.
you're trying to fucking. Uh, I mean, even the progressives who are for all this kind of shit, the leftists, were like, no, just give the money and get the show on the road. It's no time for politics here, man. It's like, man, when Trump and the progressives are fucking on the same side, and like the more like the Democrats now are like pandering to the progressives. They're not really progressives, the extreme leftists, right? They're trying to appear that way, but they're not. They're there to push their own agenda and make money like behind the scenes. I would say, I'm far from being any political expert here, but I mean that seemed ridiculous. And I think there was also like, oh no, we can't say yes to Trump right away on anything. That's like how deep that hate goes.
Yep.
That is insane that you would try to fucking push shit like that. But I think they agreed to it today. Um, and because what happened is like that shit was revealed, and now they've been kind of backtracking and shit like that. They're like, no, 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 that's not what we were trying to do. And yeah, there was a 1,400 fucking page document listing all the conditions that you guys were trying to push. I haven't read it, but it is available. You can see it online. If I'll put a link in the description, we'll put a link in the description for you guys to revise that. But man, that I think that sealed the deal for the Democrats in the reelection. If we get to that point, if it's not postponed and the election still goes on, I mean, talk about putting a foot in your mouth. That's not putting a foot in your mouth. That's like taking a fucking 12 gauge shotgun, putting it in your mouth, pulling the trigger, and thinking it's a good idea, right? Think I'll show them. Boom, fucking idiots. God damn, man.
Yeah, man.
This is the first time in my fucking life that like the last 2 years, the first time in my whole life where I'm like, the Democrats are idiots. I always sided more with the Democrats than the Republicans. On certain issues, I'd be a little bit more Republican than the Democrats. I'm Canadian, by the way, for any new listeners or whatnot. But the United States is one of the empires on this planet. I mean, what goes on there affects us all. As everyone sees, we're all interconnected. What happens in China fucking has repercussions here. So if you kind of want to know what's going on, know what's going on in Russia, know what's going on in China, know what's going on in the U.S. Right? It's 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 a fuck. It's still a clown world, but I think this coronavirus is definitely. I think it's helping. It's helping put aside a lot of petty things, and something good comes out of it.
I've
Uh,
seen a lot. I've seen a lot of tweets to that effect. It's like where's all this identity politics now that you know
yeah,
you, most people are struggling just to pay their rent or their mortgage
yeah, yeah,
and put food on the table. Well, like you said, it's time to put aside the politics, um, and just do what's right for the general population.
yeah,
Because as we've always said, we're all human, and we have human needs and desires and for
human
material
desire.
human desire. Uh, but but before we go off on too many tangents here, we're kind of up on 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Um, that's kind of the format we've wanted to keep for these.
yeah,
Um, uh, my only parting note or point is, just because your government is telling you to do something doesn't mean they should necessarily have sweeping wide powers in their back pocket in order to enforce that. Like I said, it's very draconian, um, and like you said, if you start going down that path, what other sort of liberties are they going to start taking away?
Yeah, definitely. And the other extreme is true. Just because you think this is only the flu and you won't be affected or whatever, doesn't mean that you have to fucking uh, avoid common sense precautions when you're out and about, because it's not only about you at the same time. You know, like Lao Tzu said, something about the middle ground. Well, listen to Lao Tzu.
Listen to Lao Tzu. Wise Chinese man said, Chinese flu comes round once per year. Don't let it get you down.
Yeah,
Wise Chinese man said.
yeah,
Very long time ago.
yes, yes.
Um,
That's not the point I was trying to make. I was more about middle ground. You know, use common sense. If you're a fucking idiot that thinks that this is not that big of a deal, you're wrong. But if you think that we should like fucking be under martial law and no one fucking goes out and frees the economy for a year, well, you're wrong too. And I might be wrong with whatever opinions I have, but I've always found that you look at two sides and you kind of try to find a nice middle ground to fucking uh, you know place your bets on.
yep. And yeah, just be discerning and make up your own mind, and don't be force fed the media rhetoric that's being pumped out every day now.
Yep. Well, I've been avoiding it. I focus on trading, man. That's my whatever. Besides my girlfriend, most of my news on the corona is through stock market. So if it's, I mean, whatever happens, all you can do is fucking. These are tough times for anyone that practice stoicism or whatever. This is going to be a true test of your philosophy here. Just fucking, just get the bullet points of what's going on, but try not to fucking submerge your brain to this day in day out. It's not. It's like junk food. It's like eating. It's like eating fucking marshmallows all day, man. Eh,
Yeah,
You know.
and you know what? Maybe this is a good time to think about building something of your own. I mean, that's what I've been
Yeah.
spending my time doing.
Yeah, man.
So if you have the downtime, you might as well utilize it to be the most productive and the best version of yourself going forward.
Yes,
And
sir.
build something that maybe won't be as affected by these global catastrophes in one form or another. So
Amen to that.
yeah, I'm ready to close this out. How about you, John?
Yeah, yeah. I am too. Well, we want to try to keep true to form here. So this is kind of like the time period of our format. So this is our first mini cast, if you will. Um, so on that note, thanks for hearing us out, and we'll keep you posted next week.
Yeah, hit us up on our socials, and have a great and prosperous week and months ahead.
Stay safe. Cheers.